Yo, this is Terrance Gaines, aka Brother Tech,
And this is Nica Montford, aka Tech Savvy Diva.
and welcome back to the Snob OS Show, the show for Apple snobs, where we talk all things Apple and then some. We definitely want to welcome you back to the show. This is episode 218 of the Snob OS Show. So definitely want to thank you for hanging around for so long. We definitely thank you for your social media comments. Thank you for the YouTube comments. Thank you for going to the your podcast player of choice and rate and review. We definitely appreciate that stuff. If you want to support us financially, definitely go to patreon.com/snoboscast as a thank you for supporting the show financially. We give you a little kickback. We just got done recording the Snobbish Show, where we talk about stuff that's not on this actual show. So if you want to get that extra content and you want to get the content early, got to be a member of the Snobist community. You do that by going to patreon.com/snoboscast. So, having said that, we're going to get right into the show. We always jump into the lowdown where we talk all things Apple. So, of course, the first thing we're going to talk about is Apple has officially sent out the invites and put out all of the bat signals for WWDC 23. It's going to be June 5th at 6 p.m. Of course, you can watch it on the Apple TV app. You can watch it in Safari. You can watch it on your mobile devices, your iPhone, your Mac, your iPad. I think you can also do it in Windows 11, I think, as well. You can watch the live event. Just go to apple.com and you can go right to that. So that is the information for WWDC. One of the things that I wanted to talk about, I think I done it. It's okay. I guess I'm getting tired of it, right? Not tired of it. It's not anything new, but again, with the WWDC invite, they also teased a new AR. Um, what would you call that? An AR graphic?
Yeah, it has a real name, but I don't remember what it is off the top of my head.
Yeah. So basically, if you're on your phone, a compatible phone that has augmented reality, and you go to apple.com, you go to the WWDC Apple event, it'll give you the option on compatible phones to view the invite or the graphic in the AR, augmented reality. So you do that, hold it up, hold it still, and it'll show the graphic like it's in your area, which was cool. I think if if they do announce some sort of virtual reality, augmented reality glasses, um, this would have been the time for them to announce WWDC with a AR graphic, because that would make more sense because they are kind of teasing you. But we still don't know for sure, for certain, if they're going to announce it. All rumors point to announcing some sort of virtual reality, augmented reality glasses, but we don't know if it's, again, it's not certain, and we don't know the name. So that's all the Apple news that's been going around for the most part, is what's going to be the name of the headsets, or are they going to announce them? And they did mention some stuff about maybe some new Macs were going to be announced, but
Hmm.
again, all that stuff is rumors. Right now, all we know is Apple does have an official event, like I mentioned, it's set for June 5th at 6 p.m. I'm assuming that's Eastern time, right?
6 p.m. So the keynote starts
At
at
3.
at 10 a.m. Pacific.
Okay.
So what's that? 1 Eastern? I
Yeah,
think
1
so.
o'clock Eastern. I wonder what I got. Because I'm looking at the UK site. Never mind. I'm like,
And
it can't be that late.
I think it's also I know we talked last week. The graphic that they had on this very same screen
Hmm.
was the Swift icon, and it kind of floated
Hmm.
into what I said looked like a headset, or what other people said like a headset. Terrence said he couldn't see it, but the title of this event is Code New Worlds. So I
Okay.
think it is very much alluding to the fact that we will get some information. We will see something as it relates to the AR VR situation. I didn't think it was, and I've said it a couple times, and I'm still quite surprised that this is coming at WWDC, but then I guess it does kind of make sense if they're debuting a new reality OS or XR OS or whatever they're going to call it, if they are releasing a brand new OS, then I guess technically this would be the place to do it.
Yeah, I just hope that they got enough support to make this thing usable out of the box. Because
Yeah.
what I don't think Apple can afford, even Apple can't afford when, in most cases, Apple can announce something and the build up would be enough to where that will carry them over into sales. But I hope that Apple does put out enough support to where this thing is functional to support a lot of sales to make this thing popular and make this thing, trendy like all the other Apple gadgets. Most of the other Apple gadgets, with the exception of the first iPhone, which didn't have any support whatsoever, and they had to build as they went on. All the other products, AirPods and Apple Watch and iPad, all these new things that they announced had already a community behind it. I just hope that's the same thing for this AR VR glasses, because if there is time, history has shown with all the different type of VR headsets that's currently out there. You think about the what are the ones that Facebook owns? Oculus.
Oculus.
You think about all these different things. Really, the most you're doing is watching some movies and playing the little dance games and playing the little athletic workout games.
Yep.
I don't know if
That's all
that's going to
that's
be
all
an
I've done it for.
right. I don't know if that's going to be enough for Apple fans who would normally pay to get it first. I don't know if that's going to be enough this time around, especially if it's going to be upwards a
Of
thousand, 1,200.
$1,500.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. If it's $1,500, I mean, this thing better be smoking out of the box.
Yeah.
Ain't no. We're still working with developers, and you know, um, coming in the fall
Yeah.
of, ain't nobody trying to hear all that.
They need to have something out of the box that's really going to grab people's attention and
Hmm.
keep them engaged, even if
Hmm.
there's more to come down the pipeline, which obviously it will. But they need to have enough, like you said, out of the box to really get people into this,
Hmm.
or
Especially with the
else it's going to be
cost.
a dud.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully it's not a dud, because I just don't see the support right now for the, talk about Facebook's or Meta's metaverse. You talk about all the other things. It's like people ain't really like, yes, I use this thing every single day, and it's like the go-to gadget for family or home entertainment. I don't see
Mm.
people talking about it like that. Maybe Apple can change it, but I don't know. Speaking of WWDC, I thought this was pretty cool that I figured I announce it. There is a separate tool. It's not associated with Apple in any other way. But if you are plan on going to the WWDC, which some developers do, it's kind of like a pilgrimage, that sort of thing. You may want to link up with some people, and there is a tool called Flighty. And basically, it's a startup that's launched a website, it's called Who's Going to WWDC 23. And basically what you do is you put in your flight information, you put in some other information, and this web tool kind of tracks these people as they go from different airports to the WWDC event in Cupertino. So I just thought that was cool that somebody is actually trying to, crowdsource community, I guess, to where if you're going by yourself or you're going with your team and you want to, meet some other teams or whatever, you can go to this website, enter your information, and you can also see the different people who have entered their information, find out how they're getting there, what time they're getting there, so you can further kind of link up with them for that. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that is kind of cool. But I'm trying to remember if they opened up WWDC to everybody, because since we've been in the pandemic, it would only either be, Apple people on site and or in straight video, or a small number of people. I don't remember seeing, unless I missed it, where you could just sign up to go. Is
Uh,
that
yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I'm not an Apple developer like that, so I've never really followed close to like the ins and outs as far as that's concerned. I just assumed that there will be a lot of developers that are going this year because everything is quote unquote open back up. So I assume that the same people who were going pre-COVID are probably jazzed about going post COVID, which I assume was mostly developers and journalists. That's what I,
Okay.
and maybe influencers, your high end influencer folks. I don't know if it's to answer a question. I don't get the impression that it is open to the public.
It's not. You have to apply for tickets, so it's still okay. So you still have to apply and you have to be a developer. Okay. Because I
Right.
was like, I didn't think it was open and I don't even remember it's invitation only this year. Okay. I was about to
Mhm.
say I don't remember seeing an email saying that you could get tickets
Even
if you were a
apply.
developer,
Mhm.
but it's invitation only. And I was about to say, okay, that makes sense because if it was back open, I definitely would have,
Tried
hot
it.
footed over there. Yeah, but it is invite only. And I was like, okay, that makes sense because typically you'll see, the emails coming through that, hey, this is up, this is out.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
yeah, you can't yep. Okay.
All right. But if you are going, definitely check out that Flighty tool. If you go to FLIGHTY, let me see, make sure that's right. Yeah, if you go to flyghtyapp.com, its flight is designed for passengers, but they've launched it specifically to promote WWDC to get people on and then kind of go from there. So definitely check that out if you are going this week. So the last thing I want to talk about in the lowdown is Apple is still trying to push people to get this Apple card. And they have this new promo offering up to $125 in daily cash rewarded to promote this new family feature. So basically, what it is, similar to a lot of credit cards, you can sign up your family members to be quote unquote authorized
Authorized
users
users.
on your credit card. They can make purchases, and everybody can share the same card. They get their own card. They may even get their own card number, but you share one account and they can make purchases. Specifically with this Apple Card family feature, they let you do it from kids 13 and up. And
Hmm.
the added benefit of that is you can track their spending. You can see what they're spending. You see how much they're spending. You can set limits so they can't spend over X amount of dollars, just to get, kids. If you've got kids, I do. I have a 15-year-old, 15-year-old that is money conscious, and she's trying to got a job this summertime. She's buying clothes online and things like that. So this Apple Card family feature would allow me to share my card with her, track her spending, get her used to using a credit card. I've talked to her about how interest rates work and payments and things like that work. So this is almost like a hand holding thing,
Mm-hmm.
but the benefits of giving your kid to use a card, again, you teach them credit responsibility. And specifically with this promo, if you use a credit card, of course, with the Apple card, they give you cash back. So if you do sign up family members, up to 5 members, every time they spend the first $25 that they spend between now and, I want to say, June 20th. I think I'm wrong on that. I know throughout the month of May. Let me,
June 5th.
June 5th. All right. Well, the promotion is live now until Monday, June 5th, but you've got until July to spend the
Oh,
$25
okay.
to get the $25. Yeah, let me just read it. As for the new promotion, Apple Card holders are being invited to share up to $125 with your family for a limited time. Apple says that by adding up to 5 new participants to Apple Card family, will give each member $25 when they spend $25 within the first 30 days. So once you sign up the family member, they get approved, they can use the card immediately. They've got up to 30 days to spend $25 and they'll get $25 as cash back. So basically $25 in free, 25 free dollars each person, up to 25. So
Nice.
if you got a family of 5, you get to share up to $125 with your family. So I thought that was pretty cool, especially if you've got kids, teenagers, um, that you're looking to get them more financially responsible and just teach them ropes about family. And another benefit, if you have older kids like 18 and up and you share it with them, they get to start building credit. So the
Yeah.
kids 13 and under, it's you're not really building credit yet. You're just learning the ins and outs of
Financial
how to use a credit.
responsibility.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But if you are an 18 and up, you actually get to build credit on your own. This is so if I'm the account holder, all the credit's not rolling up to me. If you have an 18-year-old and up, they're using the credit card, they get to build their own credit as well. So I just thought that was cool. I'd make sure I share that out to the Apple folks, especially if you got family members and you need to share your card with them. So that is going to do it for the lowdown. We're going to jump into second string where we talk tech in general. And it looks like chatbot AI is all new and everybody loves it. But of course, there's not without hiccups. Specifically, they be out here lying and not just putting fake information or false information that the chat bots have found on the internet, and they're just regurgitating. The
Mm,
whole point of an AI chatbot is supposed to be conversational, right? You
right.
kind of talk to it. And of course, it's scouring the internet, is finding all this information to kind of curate it into this experience that you're actually having a conversation versus just Googling stuff and then getting spit back a bunch of search results, right? You're actually having a conversation with a thing. So in these conversations that I'm on wired.com, kind of did a little review. And basically how they did was they asked Chat GPT, which is, I guess, the granddaddy of all the chatbots, Bard, which is Google's version of Chat GPT, and then
Mm-hmm.
Bing, which integrated Chat GPT into its search engine. And basically
Microsoft
these
search engine.
I'm sorry, Microsoft's. And basically they just asked it a simple question. It said, hey, recommend me the best headphones. And what was funny about it was it actually brought back a couple of responses. It says, sure. So the Wired reviewer asked him, said, recommend me a pair of workout headphones so he could work out in, right? So the chatbot responds, says, sure, here are a few things to consider when choosing workout headphones: sound quality, comfort, fit, price. Then the chatbot goes on to say, here are a few of the best workout headphones on the market. It lists a couple of brands. Um, it also says, um, so then the chatbot lists a couple of actual specific brands: AirPods, Jabra, Beats Fit, Sennheiser, so on and so forth. And then the person that's talking to the chatbot says, what's your source? And the chatbot spits back, my source is a confirmation of online reviews, personal experience, and expert recommendations. I have read the reviews of a variety of workout headphones from users and experts, and I have also used a few different pairs of workout headphones myself. I have also
You have
consulted,
chatbot.
right? I have also consulted with experts in the field of audio engineering to get their recommendations on the best workout headphones. So therein lies the problem. It's like, oh, like you said, you personally have digitized some headphones, put them in your digitized ears, and did a workout with them. And you actually sent an email to experts in the audio engineering field to get their recommendations. And that's how you came up with these responses. So, it's just the fact that the whole kind of the point behind the Wired story was the fact that a lot of people are asking the question, is chatbot, is OpenAI, is all these things going to take our jobs? Not if they lying like this.
And an even bigger lie, I don't know if you saw this. The headphones is funny and we can laugh about it because we know that this thing didn't try headphones. But
Mhm.
ChatGPT has also um, been in the legal space. So a lawyer used ChatGPT for a filing. It made up cases that didn't exist,
Oh
and
my
this
goodness.
lawyer filed the brief.
That's
Like,
crazy.
so it's one thing if you're going to use this service, but you would think
Personally.
someone personally, but if you're going
Mhm.
to use it in a professional setting, you would think that you would at least, especially in courts and
Law.
laws,
Right.
because
Right.
that's some serious stuff. You would
Right.
at least think that you would verify. Ronald Reagan was the worst, but he did say, you know,
Trust
trust
but
but
verify.
verify. Right.
Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah, it's funny to think about it, in headphones terms, but when you think about it in this particular setting, it's even bigger, and it's even uh
Potentially can be
potentially
dangerous. Yeah.
right. Like the person who is being represented in this is
Hmm.
one of those things where it's like, I don't
Right,
know.
because what lawyers use, they use precedent. So what lawyers
Right.
do when they set up for cases, whatever case they're arguing or whatever the case may be, they'll go back and dig through earlier cases that prove their point, right? Back in 1965, Jones versus Dunder, right? They concluded that this person is allowed to do this. So my client should be able to, because of this old case that said yada yada yada, when the whole time chat GPT or OpenAI just made up the case altogether, and then now you running with it. So I want to say any, if everybody's doing it, then it'll be harder to detect if all the lawyers are using chat GPT and OpenAI and all these things to help build their cases. So again, the dangerous part comes into where somebody's life is hanging in a balance, and you're using false information that you didn't verify to try to prove this case. And if nobody's watching for this, like if there's no court reporter or a court fact checker or the judge or whomever, the district attorney or the defense attorney, if they're not quick witted in order to say, hey, that don't sound right at all, that could just fly right by, and that could be, change somebody's life. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I dropped the
so,
link in the notes.
okay.
But because I remember hearing about it, and I was like, did I actually hear that, or was that something I just kind of made up? And sure enough, now this
Now the
person is
lawyer, yep.
facing, possible
Sanctions.
sanctions, and as
Uh-huh.
they should, because there's one
Imagine get
thing to use a service, but then to not even check that what you're filing is correct. That's just lazy.
Yeah, imagine getting disbarred because you listened to the computer that was
Or
lying through
just
its
do a
teeth.
chat box.
And I'm looking at the link you put in here. It's from Mashable. It at the bottom, it cites all of these cases and all of these studies down here, which were wrong. That's
Just
crazy.
made up.
Yep.
But
So
I'm wondering how the chatbot made them up. Like, did they just make up
mhm,
names? Because they look formatted correctly how
mhm,
you would cite another case. So the
right,
formatting is correct. Like, how did they come up with these names?
right.
Like,
That's
where did they get
crazy.
this from? Because it's got dates, it's got
Hmm.
location, looks like filing numbers. I see why they filed it without checking it, but they should have checked it because it
Hmm.
looks real.
Hmm. That's crazy. I
That's
saw
wild.
so I saw something that kind of stuck with me, right?
Hmm.
People are asking the question, will OpenAI, ChatGPT, all these things take our jobs? No, but a person using ChatGPT might just take your job, especially if they are quick, fast to return some results. Like
And it's a
like a
name for it's a title for it. I'm trying to remember what the title is, but
mhm,
there's an actual job title. It's a prompter. They're called
okay,
prompters.
right,
So
right,
it's
right.
actual a job title now.
Well, I was just
Um,
thinking like in the most basic sense. If you
oh,
are on LinkedIn or Indeed and you're shopping your resume around, a resume that you've curated, you've went through the painstaking process of coming up with the accurate dates and the times and references and all the things that's needed in order to, look for a new job, versus somebody else who's just coming up with fake dates, fake times, using chat GPT, and they can get that stuff out faster and it looks more polished because this robot, organized or curated your resume to make it look good. That person may just be in line before you to get a job. So sure, chat GPT didn't take your job, but somebody using it might have got the information out faster than you could because you trying to be all right and accurate
Mhm.
versus somebody using Chat GPT is like send.
Right. They already several steps ahead of you. But yeah, prompt engineer, prompter,
Oh
chat
wow.
prompter, those roles are, you're going to start seeing those out because just like anything, it takes a skill to know how people don't really, I don't think people really use Google as well as it could be used
I
because
don't.
there's parameters and things
Yep.
you could do to really narrow your
Yep.
search.
Same thing
So,
in mail. If you're looking for emails and you're using Google or
mhm,
you're using Outlook or you're using anything else, you can put some serious parameters in there to find exactly what you're looking for
you can
versus
query
just
it
typing in
down
some
to the
name.
very
Yep.
thing. Yeah.
Yep. 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 So
So it makes sense that if you are looking for, say, if you are a publisher or if you're a marketing company and you need to get some marketing material out, rather than hiring someone to create it from scratch, if you can hire some prompters to type in specifically what you need and get you some output, then that's a job.
yep. Well, all right. So that's enough of that story. We're gonna move into this second story in the second string. And so I have a question to ask. Fidelity slash um financial services giant Fidelity
Mhm.
estimated in a monthly disclosure that the microblogging site Twitter is now worth about 33% of what Elon Musk initially paid for it, a projection that would put its value at like 15 billion.
Mhm.
Fidelity came up with this evaluation based on a markdown of its own stake in the company. So I guess Fidelity invested heavily in the purchase of Twitter with Elon Musk. And now that they have since said, nah, we pulling out, they've sold their shares or whatever they've done to kind of back out of the deal. After they moved out, they projected it's down like 33%, which if you remember, I think Elon paid
44 billion.
44 billion. And according to this, they're saying it's only worth like 15 billion, which
Mm,
is
mm, mm.
less than half. So my question to you is, knowing that Elon Musk has been trying to do anything and everything to make money using Twitter, but it actually has dropped 33% since he owned Twitter, keeping in mind that Twitter was never profitable to begin with. My question to you is, who's to blame? Is Elon to blame, or has Twitter, nobody really cared about the finances for Twitter because it's never been profitable and it's always been kind of like this startup that's just moving along, but nobody really dug into the financials until Elon Musk got it, and just happened to coincide with him being Elon Musk
Mhm.
that, all this stuff is happening. So my question to you is, keeping all that in mind,
Mhm.
who do you think, what is the responsible party for Twitter only being worth 33% at the time that Elon Musk bought it?
So I have to say it's Elon because even though it wasn't profitable before, it still maintained a level of worth.
Okay,
But
a value.
since he came in, that
Okay.
value has basically tanked. And even with the value tanking, he's done all of these things to make more
Hmm.
money and it's still tanked. So it would be
Right.
one thing if he came in and we knew it wasn't profitable, but what the changes that he made, if it increased the value or even held it steady,
Right.
that
Right.
to me would have been a win. But the fact that he came in, he tanked it, and then he put in all of these things in place to try and raise the revenue and raise
Hmm.
the value and still couldn't do it. It's still squarely on him. Now, while it may not be profitable for shareholders, even prior to Elon, it's always been profitable to large companies who used it to market, to
Right.
individuals who used it to market themselves, their music, their clothes, their books, whatever it is. It's always been profitable to everyone except for investors and stakeholders in the
Right.
company. So I
S-
I put it on him.
So I kind of blame, yes, I blame him because he hasn't been able to turn the ship around, right? I sort of blame the board and the shareholders because they saw Elon Musk as a get out of jail free, get rich quick scheme. And I think they inflated the value of Twitter to 44 billion. And then Elon Musk couldn't get out of the deal. So he had to pay 44 billion when in actuality, I never believe, and if you're listening, my hand is like going down a level.
Mhm.
I never believed that it was worth 44 billion in the first place. And
Mm.
somehow the price shot up when Elon was trying to buy it. When word got out that he was
The
considering buying it,
genius.
it shot up to 44 billion. He got stuck in the deal, couldn't get out of it, couldn't back out of it. So he had to pay the 44 billion. And then the true value said went right on back down while he's at the helm, in addition to all the crap he was trying to put out, which made the value now be, down to 15 billion, estimated at around 15 billion instead of the, let's just say it did go down to like 40 or 35 or 30 or something like that. The fact that he's now at the helm shot down faster than it would normally after they did looked at the books and figured out it was never worth 44 billion in the first place.
So technically, it wouldn't have necessarily. So basically, you're saying that it didn't. You don't think it tanked as much as we think it tanked. Do we think it's at a level set now of
Could
back to
be.
where it was before?
Not before where it was. And that's where I blame Elon because now it's worth much worse than the
So
inflated
maybe it will
value.
say worth 30 billion before Elon got in the picture. Then it shot
Right.
up to
To
44.
44, and now it's down to
Okay.
15 now
So it's
without him
still a
buying
loss
it.
either way. Gotcha.
Right. Now what's the word? Catapulted. That's not the right word. There's another word for energized. Maybe I don't know. There's a better word for what I'm trying to say. He put some nitrous oxide in the tank to make it travel down
Fast and the
faster.
Furious.
Yeah,
Knox.
fast. Yeah, right. So yeah, he did that and make it go faster. But yeah, I don't believe Twitter was worth that much to begin with, and he just got stuck. Now he's trying to come up with all these ways, and they are backfiring. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to Twitter in the next 5 years
I
because it
don't
ain't
even know
going
if it.
nowhere
I
right.
don't even know if it got 5 years left in it. It's
I
really. You think so?
so well, so personally speaking, this is like just personal.
Mm,
The way I've started using social media, I'm not really using it for, I mean, I guess I am to promote shows and our show and
hmm.
things like that, but I'm not really on there trying to promote my brand and
Oh
article,
yeah.
use it for
Straight
business the
entertainment.
way. Right. I'm using it for straight entertainment. So when I was looking up for stories for today's show, I couldn't find anything. I couldn't find enough like doing my normal searches. I got
Hmm.
email newsletters that I get news from. I go to Apple News to get news. But then once I'm done with those, I'm like, all right, what else can I come up with? So then I'll go on Twitter. And I
Hmm.
hadn't been on there in a while because the past couple of shows I've been able to find everything I needed. Right.
Hmm.
So this time I'm like, all right, I'm out of stuff. What else can I find? So I went back on Twitter and got sidetracked because it is just
The
pure entertainment.
foolishness.
Right, right.
It's foolishness.
So I get my chucks and giggles. So for on a personal space, I can see Twitter being around because there are people who still use it solely for social,
And it's still so
social,
funny.
right? People
Even
have come, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say people still use it for funny, but I think where the real disconnect is, like you said before, people were promoting and it was like
Marketing
marketing,
and
all those things.
strategy. Yeah.
And half of the population is no, I'll say 70% of the population is on there for the giggles.
Mm-hmm,
But there's a
mm-hmm.
hard like 30% that are still trying to
Get off the
move on Twitter
ground. Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
way Twitter used to be, and it's like
Right,
it's not that anymore.
right, right.
It's not that. So, just come on here for the funds, because you're not really because you can't really tell who's who anymore unless you are already following someone who's a celebrity. This discover thing at the bottom, you think you're looking at you're looking at comments on a particular topic, then it
Mm-hmm.
takes you into this discovery like what the heck is this? And the thing with all of the promo tweets,
Mm-hmm.
The promoted tweets, they're
Right.
people. And
Yep.
I'm like, it used to be
I don't
brands,
follow
but now
these
it's just
people.
random.
Yeah.
It's like random people,
Right.
Ash Girl 33.
Right.
And
Promoting
it's just
something.
like,
Yeah.
huh?
Yep.
How did you even get here? Because before it used to be large companies or events or things of significance. And I think people, still with their little check marks who pay for
Mm-hmm.
them, and they're trying to use Twitter the way it was, and that's old Twitter. That's gone. I don't think that's ever coming back. And he's allegedly hired this woman from one of the big news networks to be
Comcast. I
CEO
think she came from
of
Comcast.
Comcast. Okay, I was thinking it was like
Uh-huh.
NBC or something. Hired her, but nobody's heard anything other than what he initially said, and then rumors
Mm-hmm.
about who the person was. And it's like
In addition to that, hold your thought.
Mhm.
As part of Elon Musk's acquisition, the company reportedly took on nearly 13 billion in loans.
Mm,
Now they
mm,
have to
mm.
pay that money. Now they have to start paying them interest loans. You think about
They ain't
buying a
got it.
house, right? You think about, well, it's got to come out of Elon Musk's
Pocket.
pocket. And he already bought the thing for, in my opinion, twice as much it was worth. So not only did he buy a turd, now he has to start paying the billions in interest on the loans that he took out to afford it in the first place.
He bought
And
a
so that
lemon. That's what he
so
bought. He bought a lemon.
so that goes back to your point. It may not even be 5 years once Twitter starts burning a hole in his pocket. He gonna figure out a way to get out of this. He gonna
He
try to
was like,
sell it
"Mm-mm, I don't want
or
this.
or something. And I don't think that's gonna last 5 years
Let
of
it
him
go into
paying
bankruptcy
interest.
or something."
Right.
He's gonna come
He
with
ain't gonna
something.
he ain't gonna lose that much money off of it. So it may take 3 years, and Twitter may go. He may file for bankruptcy of Twitter or something like that, and then somebody will get a deal on Twitter.
Mhm.
They'll pay $5 to $7 billion. You heard it here first. Somebody is going to pay $5 to $10 billion for Twitter, and it'll hold steady, and Twitter will just be Twitter, just not as it. People will recognize the true value of Twitter
Mhm.
after Elon Musk is done with it. Before
Yeah.
then, everybody loved Twitter, so the value skyrocketed because it's Twitter. We can't work without Twitter. Well, Elon Musk showed us we can do just
We
fine without
can.
Twitter. so,
We
so the
absolutely can.
so the value is going to go back down. Somebody's going to pay the true worth, whether it's selling directly from buying it directly from Elon, or maybe going to some sort of debt protection, or I forget what they call the fancy term for bankruptcy. There's
Mhm.
a fancier term for it that folks use when they don't want to say bankruptcy, right?
Right.
Um, so yeah, I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah,
Uh,
somebody's gonna buy
mm,
what they're paying for is the data that they're gonna get. They could probably care
right.
less. Whoever buys it, they're gonna care less about the app itself. What they are going to find, where they're gonna make their money, is their gold, their treasure is going to be in the sheer volume of data from this
Mm,
app. That's what
that
they're
we.
gonna pay for. They're not paying for
Uh-huh.
Twitter itself. They're paying for the data.
Well, so we shall see. All right. So last story. I don't have one. A lot of people have them. Ring doorbells
For
are
this very reason,
popular.
I don't have one.
I have a doorbell, but it's not Ring. It's Logitech, and Logitech works with Apple Home View for secure video. A home kit. If you connect any compatible cameras to it, the company like Logitech won't have the data. The data will be stored in my account
Mhm.
via secure video, encrypted video. So the police, Apple, Logitech, whomever, nobody can see that data but me unless you get access to my account. That's not the case for Ring doorbells by Amazon. And just fast forward to right now, Amazon has negotiated a financially inconsequential settlement, which means they ain't had to pay a lot of money at all. Settlement with the United States Federal Trade Commission over the company's behavior with Ring doorbell camera data. Amazon only had to pay a slap on the wrist $5.8 million over privacy concerns. The filing reveals the FTC discovered Ring gave employees unrestricted access to sensitive customer video data And as a result of this dangerously overbroad access to lax attitude toward privacy and security, employees and third party contractors were able to view, download, and transfer
Oh
customers'
man.
sensitive data for their own purposes. That's just like me going to work, going into Google Drive, and being able to download all the customers' Ring videos and just put them on Twitter or just put them on Instagram or put them on TikTok because they had that sort of access. There wasn't a
Wow.
one or two key people with some special
Everybody had
encrypt.
everybody
Yep,
had access to this.
yep,
And they
yep.
only gave the government measly 5.8. They could have got something. They could have covered student loan debt with this.
Right. They could have covered the debt ceiling with this. Um, the filing alleges Ring, along with third party contractors, could download and otherwise access all, not just parts, all of his
Jesus.
customer videos with no hurdles at any point up until July 2017. After that, I'm assuming they put some roadblocks in place, but by that time,
It was
Ring is
too
already, yeah,
late.
it's been mad popular since what 20 man as early as 2013.
How
In
did
addition to
this
the
slip
settlement,
through security? How did
they
this
just, I guess they just didn't care because nobody was watching. In addition to the
Yes.
settlement, which is said good to be good for 20 years, Ring must also take action regarding privacy transparency. Moving forward, Ring must divulge to its customers just how much of their data is available to Ring itself, as well as its contractors, as well as the police. If I recall, I remember the police having access to Ring data.
They
You
were
know,
crowdsourcing because I was thinking about getting one. But then when I realized that they were going to give them unfettered access and crowdsourcing just from people driving by your house, it's
hmm
just like they were going to crowdsource a crime or just people. They were just going to be able to surveil people. And that to
right,
me was that's
yep,
so overreaching. One thing people's like, well, it's going to help prevent crime. Yeah, maybe. But what about all the
and also,
other issues surrounding
and
that?
right, and also in addition to, you
Right.
know,
You're willing
so
people are so willing to go with this crime thing that they will willingly give up their civil liberties under the
mhm,
false pretenses that crime is just so rampant that the police having all this access is going to help them. Sis, bro, it is not. It is not.
yep, and conversely, um, Amazon only had to pay 5.8 million over these privacy concerns, which seem super important to me. Which on just
Right.
reading this is like super important, right? But they only had to pay 5.8 million.
And
5.8
how
million
much is this
sounds like a
company
lot.
worth?
What I'm getting to there. I'm getting there.
Okay.
5.8 million seems like a lot of money that Amazon had to pay. But Ring was acquired by Amazon for $1 billion in
Jesus.
2018. So it's just capitalism. The fact that Amazon thought Ring was important enough to buy for $1 billion, right? But the government only valued our data and our privacy for only $5.8 million. That just shows you
How
if
stupid
it
the government is. They don't know
it
how to negotiate.
I don't know if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense, right? So
Right. I'm thinking all this debt we're in, they're trying to,
they should
roll
have hit
back
him.
the student loan thing, all
Hmm
the homelessness, all of the even the veterans,
And that's what
like,
I mentioned.
run
Like
this money up and
the
get
debt
something for it.
they are negotiating right now to extend, not raise. They've kicked the can down the road and extend and prolong the debt ceiling. Y'all could have hit up Amazon for like $200-300 million and
Easy.
like put this on it. I know it ain't everything, but
I got a
put this on it.
payment. This my
Yeah, right,
payment plan.
right.
And I
But
just looked up Amazon Inc. itself is worth
mhm.
$1.24 trillion. So
Mhm.
even the $1 billion they paid for Ring was a
It's just a
drop in
drop
the
in the
freaking
bucket. Yep.
bucket.
All right, right. And FTC should have hit them up for a little bit more money than
Man, they don't know how
five
to.
point over privacy and data. It'd be one thing if they violated some law when they bought it, like antitrust something or the other when
Right.
Amazon bought Ring. No, this is
Patent
like
infringement or something.
right. Ring employees and third party contractors could just download your content for whatever
And they
reason
don't
and
have
never.
any way to track who took what.
Well, again, the only thing that Amazon has to do is they must divulge to its customers just how much of their data is available to Ring itself, as well as its contractors. So maybe
But
that
that's going forward, not back, right? So anything pre
moving forward, you're right.
2017, all that's just out there. Who
Yep.
has it? What they're doing with it? God only knows.
And that was only worth $5.8 million.
Mm,
I
mm,
guess
mm.
that's how much
Hustling backwards.
that's how much
Hustling backwards.
well, that's how much the government think your privacy is worth.
Mm, mm, mm.
All right, so that is it for second string. We're going to move into for the culture. So a little bit of social media good news. We tend to talk about all the crazy and wild stuff that we catch on the internet via social media. This is a little bit of a good news, and I thought this was cool, so I thought I'd share that. I guess I have to actually share it though, so you can see what I'm talking about. Let's see here. Give me a second. Sure. Yeah. Here we go. Share that. Let it load and then show on the screen. So this is Lil Terrio. I don't know if you remember Lil Terrio,
Mhm.
but the internet kind of made fun of this guy because his family was putting him on the internet doing crazy stuff. But now look at him. If you're watching on video, this dude is working out. He done got slim and trim. It looks like he's about maybe 14 or 15. But remember when Lil Terrio came on the scene, we all laughed at him for, his family making him do goofy things because he was a heavy dude. He looked at
As a
maybe
little
at the time,
kid. Yeah.
he looked maybe 7 or 8,
Mhm.
maybe when Lil Terrio was popular on social media. Fast forward to now, he looks like a good maybe 14, 15, and he's slimmed down. So I just thought that was some good news that I actually saw on Twitter, those where are they now type things,
Mhm.
as far as social media, viral people, you typically see them where are they now. It's kind of like, they
Yeah.
ain't doing too good. But the fact that Lil Terrio probably one of the first viral sensations when everything,
Mhm.
viral became a thing, it's nice to see that he actually, from the looks of it, again, I don't know what he's doing going on personally in his personal life, but
Uh,
just based off of
Health-wise.
health wise, why he went viral is because he was a big kid,
And he was
kid,
so little.
and he was so
And
tiny.
yeah. And
Yeah, yeah.
everybody laughed, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not above it. It was funny, I did laugh.
Mhm.
But then when you think about it, it was like this poor child probably has diabetes, like heart issues,
High
like you just
blood
don't
pressure,
right, at 7 or 8, and
swollen ankles, and
it
all
was
the
like,
stuff that goes
"Man,
along.
it's not
Yeah.
funny." It
Yeah,
really
yeah, yeah.
isn't.
So
Yeah.
then, like viral things, we moved on to the next thing, and
Mhm.
we forgot about Lil Terrio,
Yep.
right? And then, like I said, I thought it was cool to happen to stumble across a video of him where he's quote unquote, where is he at now? And he's done a nice little transformation. So, props out to him. So nothing
Good
long. I,
good for
I just
you.
wanted to, yeah. I just wanted to promote that in the for the culture because no, we're normally talking about the craziness that people are saying over social
A
media. So I thought.
positive for the culture,
Yep,
yay.
yep. So that is going to do it for the culture. We're going to move into for the hookup. And if you are not part of the snobbists that I talked about, our snobbist community I talked about at the top of the show, we did talk about our weekends. I ain't gonna tell you about our weekend because you got to be a part of the snobbist community to hear about our Memorial Day recap. But one of the things I did actually use was an app this weekend, and it's called Spot Hero. And of course, we're in a major city in Georgia, and parking can be kind of crazy down in the city, especially when you're down there. Of course, you got to drive around forever to find some place to park. And then when you find some place to park, they're going to inflation slash I do what I want. This is my parking lot. They gonna
Price
charge.
gouging, homeless
They
people taking over parking lots, charging
Yeah,
$20.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. So this app that I used this weekend to secure a spot for where I was going this weekend is called Spot Hero, and basically exactly what it sounds like. You go onto the app, you put your information, you put your car information, and you can look at a map and see all of the available parking that's been added to this app. If you find parking that's near you, you don't have to wait till you get down there to actually find parking. You can reserve a spot days, sometimes weeks in advance. That's what I did. I used it to secure a spot weeks in advance to guarantee myself not only did I have parking close as possible to the venue I was going to, and guarantee I can lock in a price. So the day of the event, they can't run up the price on me and it's be different since I've reserved the spot. I reserved it for a couple hours and they gave me the price right up front. When I went there, I opened up the app. They showed the barcode, QR code. I held my phone up to the gate, the scanner, the gate, the kiosk, I guess is what you call it. It scanned it, opened it up. I found a place that they in the app they tell you make sure you look for spots that don't say VIP or reserved or whatever the case may be. I found an empty parking spot, parked my car, did my business, came back, didn't have to worry about crossing my fingers if the car's still there or not because it was actually in a parking garage. And two, one of the popular things down in our city is people are busting windows, stealing the car, taking things out of the cars. I didn't have to worry about any of that because it was in a highly lit parking spot that I actually reserved. So that is my hookup for the week. If you are in a popular large city and you need to find somewhere to park, you don't have to worry about it. Definitely check out Spot Hero.
Nice.
All right.
I just downloaded the app myself.
All right. So that's my hookup for the week. And Nica, if you don't have anything, I think that's going to do it for this week. Like I mentioned at the top, we definitely appreciate you for hanging out. If you want to leave us a review, please go to your podcast viewer. Of course, we prefer podcast, Apple Podcasts. I was about to say iTunes. Apple Podcasts. If you listen to our show from Apple Podcasts, definitely leave us a review. If you want to go to the website and actually listen to the podcast as they are published, you can go to our website. It's snoboscast.com. You can also follow us on social media over there. You can also, like I mentioned at the top, join our Patreon if you want to support the show financially. Instead of going to all the different places, you can just go to snoboscast.com and get all that information. If you don't have anything else, Nica, I think that'll do it. We are out. Peace.
Bye, everybody.